I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home.
6 months have passed since 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother, Jack, vanished from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. What began as an urgent search has grown into one of the most watched missing children cases in Canada. Despite large-scale efforts, the silence surrounding that morning remains unbroken. Today, we look at the newest update and the emotional message from their mother, Malehya Brooks Murray. Malehya's words, shared on the page dedicated to finding her children, reveal the weight she carries every day. She describes how deeply she misses their smiles, their voices, and the warmth of holding them close. Her heartbreak, written with raw honesty, has touched thousands who continue to follow this case. Even in the darkest moments, she speaks with unwavering hope, believing that she will see her children again. As authorities release new information, the community watches closely. RCMP confirms that recent reviews of witness reports found no substantiated evidence of a vehicle near the home at the time the siblings disappeared. With every detail examined and re-examined, investigators remind the public that all possibilities remain open. Their work continues, supported by teams across Canada. In this video, we revisit what is newly known, what remains unanswered, and how the search is evolving after 6 months. We focus on Malehya's plea, the latest clarifications from RCMP, and the community's continued support as Jack's 5th birthday approaches. Above all, we amplify the message at the heart of this update: someone, somewhere, knows something, and even the smallest detail could help bring Lily and Jack home. According to the initial information shared by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the children were believed to have wandered from their residence sometime early that morning. The area surrounding their home is a mix of wooded trails, quiet roads, and stretches of land that can feel endless to anyone unfamiliar with the terrain. Search teams quickly mobilized, aware that every minute mattered during the early stages of such an effort. First responders and volunteers moved quickly through the area, fanning out across fields, forests, and waterways. Drones hovered above the tree line, dogs followed assigned routes, and experienced teams worked from sunrise into the late hours. The community rallied, offering support, meals, and manpower. But even with this strength behind the search, hours turned into days without a sign of Lily or Jack. By the end of the first week, the operation had grown significantly. Specialized search units joined from different parts of the province, bringing advanced equipment and trained personnel. RCMP officers coordinated the efforts, mapping out ground already covered and identifying new zones to explore. The focus was clear: to locate the children as quickly and safely as possible. Yet each pass through thick brush and open fields left the same result: no confirmed trace. As the search expanded, media attention increased. Local outlets documented every update, while national coverage soon followed. The story of 2 young siblings disappearing from their own home was one that no community could turn away from. Parents, neighbors, and volunteers continued to offer help, driven by the belief that someone, somewhere, might see something that had been missed before. The effort remained determined, even as fatigue set in. Meanwhile, investigators spoke with residents throughout Lansdowne Station, gathering any information that might help build a clearer timeline. The morning hours of May 2nd were retraced again and again: every sound, every movement, every detail that could support the search. But as days turned to weeks, the investigation entered a phase where answers became harder to find. Leads were checked, locations revisited, and tips evaluated carefully. Through all of this, Lily and Jack's family remained at the center of the community's concern. Their mother, Malehya Brooks Murray, and their stepfather, Daniel Martel, provided information to investigators and waited for updates that could bring clarity. In the early stages, Martel explained that he believed the children may have exited the home through a sliding back door. RCMP acknowledged receiving the information, but stated that no confirmed scenario had been established. Within the home itself, routines had been ordinary the night before. Nothing appeared to suggest that the next morning would become the beginning of months of uncertainty. For many in the region, the case felt particularly unsettling because it developed from a place that should have been safe: a family residence in a quiet rural setting. And that detail alone fueled emotions among those following the case. RCMP continued to provide official updates as the investigation progressed. They emphasized that every possible direction was being examined and that no conclusion had been drawn. Searches extended beyond the immediate property into water systems, dense wooded sections, and areas where natural terrain made access difficult. Each new search produced hope, but also the heavy possibility that answers still remained out of reach. As the first month passed, the scale of the operation became one of the largest the region had seen. Multiple agencies across Canada offered support, adding specialized skills and equipment. Helicopters scanned from above, teams used advanced mapping tools, and experienced units reviewed search grids meticulously. Despite the immense effort, the absence of new discoveries left the case suspended between progress and uncertainty. By the second month, digital outreach increased. RCMP encouraged the public to report anything that seemed unusual or connected, no matter how small. Tips continued to arrive, each one documented and reviewed. Some led to searches, others were eliminated after evaluation. Still, investigators stressed that they were committed to examining every possibility until a clear understanding of what happened could be established. As weeks continued to pass, the focus expanded beyond the immediate area. Officers revisited timelines, cross-checked statements, and verified every element provided by residents. Maps filled with notes, sketches, and marked-off sections became essential tools. The case required precision, patience, and endurance qualities investigators repeatedly demonstrated as they pushed forward through the quieter stages of the process. Throughout this time, the emotional weight carried by the family was evident. Friends and community members expressed concern, offering support and encouragement. The absence of answers created a space filled with questions, yet no one stopped hoping for progress. Lilly and Jack's young ages intensified the urgency behind every update, reminding everyone that the smallest detail could become the key piece needed. As the third month approached, online communities and advocacy pages began to grow. Many users shared posts, images, and messages dedicated to bringing awareness to the case. Among them was the Facebook page created and used by Malehya, where she posted heartfelt updates expressing her longing and pain. Her messages resonated deeply, even with those far outside Nova Scotia. In one of her earlier posts, she described missing the simple, intimate moments, waking up to her children's smiles, hearing their voices, and holding them close. These emotions reflected the reality of a mother navigating the unknown, while balancing hope and heartbreak. Her words reminded the public that behind every headline, there are real lives, real families, and real love at stake. Simultaneously, investigators continued methodically evaluating earlier reports. Among the details reviewed were accounts from residents who believed they heard a vehicle moving near the home around the time the children disappeared. These statements remained part of the public conversation for months, fueling speculation and questions. But RCMP made clear that careful examination was required before drawing any official connection. The search continued through summer and into fall. Volunteers returned for renewed efforts, and RCMP organized additional ground searches at different intervals. Specialized equipment was deployed as needed, and teams revisited challenging areas to ensure no detail had been overlooked. The environment itself, dense foliage, uneven terrain, and natural barriers posed challenges that required persistence and caution. By early fall, the investigation reached its sixth month. At this stage, RCMP prepared new updates to clarify information and address lingering questions. Among these updates was a significant point. Investigators had found no evidence to confirm the presence of a vehicle near the home at the time the children were last seen. This clarification marked an important moment in the case's timeline. According to spokesperson Cindy Byers, extensive review showed no verifiable signs of vehicle activity that aligned with earlier witness statements. This meant that no driver had been identified and no vehicle had become part of the confirmed investigative path. For many following the case, this update shifted focus back to other elements that investigators were evaluating. RCMP emphasized that witness accounts had been heard and documented, but that hearing a sound alone could not be treated as confirmed activity without supporting evidence. The community absorbed this information carefully, understanding that investigations often evolve as new findings are verified or eliminated. The update reinforced how detailed, cautious, and structured the process needed to be. As the update spread, attention shifted again to the ongoing ground searches. RCMP confirmed that a large coordinated search took place in late September across sections of Lansdowne Station and the property connected to the family. This operation was carried out with precision and involved numerous officers, specialized units, and technical resources. Every meter of terrain was carefully examined, ensuring no area had been overlooked. Despite the thoroughness of this new search phase, RCMP announced that no human remains or new physical clues were discovered. While disappointing to many who hoped for a breakthrough, investigators emphasized that eliminating possibilities is itself valuable. Each cleared area narrows the investigative focus and strengthens direction moving forward. The case remains active, and each update contributes to progress. Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon explained in a public statement that multiple components of the investigation are ongoing simultaneously. These include reviewing evidence, validating tips, rechecking timelines, and coordinating with outside agencies. Such coordination ensures that no detail is missed, whether it is a digital trace, physical observation, or timeline inconsistency. The complexity of the case demands this wide-reaching approach. McCammon emphasized that search teams from other regions across Canada had provided support, offering advanced tools and experience. Their involvement highlights how seriously the case is treated. The goal remains unchanged: to understand what happened on May 2nd and to locate Lilly and Jack. The multi-agency cooperation has become one of the defining features of the investigation. Throughout these months, the community has stayed deeply engaged. Posters remain visible in public spaces, local businesses continue sharing updates, and residents often attend vigils held to honor the children. These gatherings are filled with reflection, hope, and solidarity. As time has passed, the determination of the community has not faded, showing how deeply Lilly and Jack's story has affected them. One of the most emotional markers of time came when the family announced that Jack would soon celebrate his 5th birthday. A candlelit vigil was organized at the Stellarton RCMP detachment to honor the day. What should have been a moment of celebration instead became a symbol of resilience, hope, and belonging shared by the community and the family. At the vigil, supporters planned to gather quietly, each person holding a candle representing light, hope, and the desire for answers. Events like this remind everyone that behind the official statements and the investigative procedures, there is a family enduring unimaginable uncertainty. The vigil serves as a way to ensure that Lilly and Jack remain in the hearts of those who care about them. Meanwhile, Malehya continued posting deeply emotional messages online. Each message captures the intensity of her love for her children and the constant ache of not knowing where they are. She describes longing for simple everyday moments, waking them up in the morning, hearing their laughter, and holding them close. These posts resonate with thousands across the country. In one of her most recent posts, she writes that she feels truly traumatized by the absence of her children. She explains the difficulty of moving through daily life without answers and how deeply the uncertainty affects her and her family. These words express the emotional reality of a mother navigating an experience without a clear path or timeline. Despite her pain, Malehya's posts carry messages of determination and faith. She repeatedly states that she has not given up hope and believes with all her heart that she will see her children again. Her voice has become a central emotional thread throughout the case, reminding the public that hope, even in difficult circumstances, remains a powerful force. The stepfather, Daniel Martel, also spoke publicly earlier in the investigation. He shared his view that the children may have gone outside through the sliding back door. He later expressed his personal belief that something beyond wandering could have occurred, though RCMP clarified that no evidence supports any specific scenario at this stage. His statements reflect the emotional strain the family is under. Martel also addressed earlier community discussions suggesting that sounds heard by residents might have come from his vehicle. He firmly rejected these suggestions, calling them complete nonsense. His response underscores the tension and stress felt by the family as public discussion and speculation spread throughout the months-long investigation. RCMP remained consistent in their communication. There is no confirmed evidence supporting any single explanation. Whether regarding reports of a vehicle, questions about the home environment, or the numerous tips received, investigators state clearly that the process requires evidence, verification, and careful analysis. The case is approached without assumptions. With 6 months now past, the investigative team continues working with persistence. Many cases slow down significantly over time, but RCMP stresses that this search has not stopped. Instead, it has shifted into a phase that involves deeper review, broader collaboration, and repeated assessment of earlier information. This phase is crucial for long-term progress. Throughout the case, one of the defining challenges has been the landscape itself. The region around Lansdowne Station includes vast forested sections, uneven ground, waterways, and dense natural areas that can be difficult to access. Search teams have had to adapt repeatedly, employing different methods and equipment to navigate the terrain safely and thoroughly. Weather also played a role in shaping search patterns. As weeks progressed into different seasons, teams faced varying conditions that affected visibility, temperature, and accessibility. Yet despite these challenges, RCMP maintained search operations whenever feasible. Each opportunity to cover more ground was treated as essential to the overall effort. Investigators also spent significant time reviewing tips submitted by the public. Some tips included observations from May 2nd, while others focused on potential details that residents considered unusual. Each tip was logged, prioritized, and evaluated based on relevance. Many were ruled out after examination, but the process remained steady and respectful to those providing information. Digital communication played a major role as well. Social media posts, online messages, and shared content helped amplify awareness about the missing siblings. These posts reached far beyond Nova Scotia, drawing national and even international attention. The more people saw the children's images and story, the greater the chance that someone might provide meaningful information. Despite the growth of online conversation, RCMP maintained a controlled and careful approach to public information. They clarified what was confirmed, what remained unverified, and what had been ruled out. This ensured that the community received accurate updates, avoiding confusion or misinformation. In cases involving young children, clarity is essential. Behind the scenes, analysts and specialists examined timelines, distances, and potential paths around the property. They reviewed environmental factors, visibility lines, and geographical details that could influence the case. This type of analysis is often unseen but plays a vital role in shaping search strategy and determining next steps. Another critical aspect was the support offered by various agencies across Canada. The involvement of experienced units shows how broadly the search reached. Each team brought specialized knowledge: terrain navigation, mapping technology, search planning, and more. This collaboration allowed the investigation to maintain momentum through multiple stages. While official updates came primarily from RCMP spokespeople, the presence of officers in the community served as a reminder that the case was never placed on pause. Patrols, follow-ups, and ongoing investigative work continued quietly each day. Even without frequent public announcements, progress was being made behind the scenes. For the community, the weight of the case remained deeply personal. Lansdowne Station is a small and tightly connected area where residents know one another and share a strong sense of solidarity. The disappearance of 2 young siblings affected nearly everyone. Conversations at schools, workplaces, and gatherings often reflected the collective concern and hope for answers. Local volunteers described the search as something that united the community in a unique way. Even months later, many continued offering help, asking for updates, and checking in on the family. The sense of responsibility toward Lilly and Jack extended far beyond the initial search period, showing the depth of care within the region. Through all of this, the family continued to rely on support from both local residents and people across Canada. Messages of encouragement were sent from other provinces, and strangers expressed solidarity online. These gestures, though small in appearance, often hold immense emotional value during long and difficult searches. The clarity provided by RCMP regarding the absence of evidence about a vehicle also helped refocus the investigation. By eliminating one possibility, it allowed officers to concentrate on other leads more effectively. This process of narrowing and refining is essential in cases where multiple paths exist without clear direction. As the 6th month ended, RCMP reiterated a message they have repeated since the beginning: all possibilities remain open. No single explanation has been confirmed or ruled out, and no theory has been adopted as the primary direction. Instead, The investigation continues to evolve based on evidence and verified information alone. This methodical approach helps ensure accuracy and prevents missteps. For the investigative team, patience and persistence are critical. The scope of the case, the young ages of Lilly and Jack, and the emotional weight carried by the family require a careful and thorough strategy, one that leaves no stone unturned. Malehya's pleas for information serve as a strong reminder of what is at the heart of the case. Her words reach beyond Nova Scotia, urging anyone with even the smallest detail to come forward. She reminds the public that sometimes answers come from unexpected places, and that no observation should be dismissed if it could help. Her posts describe the longing for her children as something that never fades. She speaks about missing their voices, their energy, and the simple comfort of their presence. These reflections capture the emotional journey of a mother navigating uncertainty while holding on to hope with unwavering strength. Jack's upcoming birthday, once a moment that would have filled the family home with laughter, instead highlights the passing of time. Each milestone carries a deeper meaning when the child is not present to celebrate it. The vigil organized in his honor reflects how strongly the community stands beside the family during these difficult moments. Supporters attending the vigil plan to light candles, share quiet reflections, and continue spreading awareness about the case. Events like these not only honor the children but also serve as reminders that the search is still active and important. They help maintain visibility, ensuring the story remains present in public awareness. The case has also sparked broader conversations about community safety, rural awareness, and the challenges of large-scale searches. Many residents expressed that the situation made them reflect deeply on the importance of communication, vigilance, and support networks within their communities. The involvement of national media outlets, including the recent article by People.com, has helped bring renewed attention to the case. This increased visibility helps expand the reach of the family's message and may encourage individuals outside the region to provide relevant information if they have it. As fall progresses, the landscape around Lansdowne Station begins to change. Leaves shift color, temperatures drop, and the environment takes on a new appearance. These seasonal changes influence search patterns, but they also serve as a visual reminder of how much time has passed since May 2nd. Despite these changes, the determination to find Lilly and Jack remains steady. Investigators, volunteers, and supporters continue carrying the weight of the search. Their commitment is a reflection of how deeply the case has touched those involved, and how strongly they believe in the importance of bringing clarity to the family. Each update, each search effort, and each message shared by the family builds a clearer understanding of the timeline and circumstances. While answers have not yet emerged, the investigative path continues to evolve. The process is slow, careful, and deliberate, designed to ensure accuracy above all else. As we reflect on the 6-month mark, one truth remains at the center. The story of Lilly and Jack continues to inspire empathy, concern, and collective hope. The absence of answers has not diminished the commitment to find them. Families, communities, and authorities remain connected through this shared mission. Part 1 closes with a reminder from RCMP. The search is not over. All possibilities remain open, and the investigation continues actively. With support from agencies across Canada and an unwavering community, the hope of finding Lilly and Jack remains alive. And as the story continues, so does the message repeated by their mother: someone, somewhere, knows something. 6 months after the disappearance, the emotional weight carried by the family has become one of the most visible elements of the case. While search teams and investigators continue their work, the voice that resonates most consistently is that of Malehya Murray. Her messages, written with raw honesty, have become a timeline of grief, hope, and determination. Each post reflects her desire to keep her children's names alive in the public eye. As public updates became less frequent over the months, Malehya's online messages emerged as a steady source of insight into how the family is coping. She writes not only about missing Lilly and Jack, but about the emotional challenges of waking up each day without answers. The void left by their absence fills every corner of her daily life, from quiet mornings to late nights that feel heavier with every passing hour. Community members who follow her posts often leave messages of support, encouragement, and prayers. Many express admiration for her strength, while others share how deeply the case has affected them. The online community surrounding the search has grown steadily, showing that even as time passes, people remain engaged and committed to staying aware of new developments. In her recent message posted on October 13th, Malehya describes the longing she feels as something that cannot be measured. She writes about wanting to breathe in the familiar scent of her children, to dress them in the morning, and to tuck them into bed at night. These everyday moments, once taken for granted, have now become cherished memories she hopes to experience again. Her message also emphasizes the emotional impact on the rest of her family. The home, once filled with the laughter and energy of young children, now feels incomplete. She calls the experience the most devastating period of her life, describing a sense of lostness that she struggles to navigate. It is a reminder that when a child goes missing, entire families carry the weight. Despite her grief, one of the most striking elements of Malehya's posts is her resilience. She writes repeatedly that she has not given up hope. She believes she will see Lilly and Jack again, and this belief anchors her through each difficult day. Her posts show a combination of heartbreak and strength that resonates deeply with readers across Canada and beyond. As her messages gain attention, those following the case have taken it upon themselves to keep spreading awareness. They share updates, repost images of the children, and talk about the case within their own networks. The awareness generated online continues to support the search, reminding others that the case remains open and active. While the public expresses emotional support, the RCMP continues its methodical approach behind the scenes. The recent update clarifying the absence of evidence regarding a vehicle at the scene was a significant detail. It showed that investigators are not simply collecting information, they are also eliminating possibilities that might distract from the core investigation. The clarification brought relief to some and disappointment to others who believed the vehicle detail could lead to new answers. However, RCMP stressed that verified facts are the foundation of the investigation. Without physical evidence, no sound or impression can be treated as an established clue. This message reinforced the need for careful information handling. The process of ruling out unverified claims helps investigators refine the direction of their work. Each step in this elimination process narrows the focus, making it easier to identify what remains possible. Although this approach may appear slow, it is essential for maintaining accuracy in an investigation of this scale and sensitivity. Part of what makes this case especially challenging is the absence of physical evidence. After months of searching, the area has revealed no decisive clues. The large-scale efforts in late September were particularly significant because they involved revisiting areas previously checked. Even after this extensive effort, no new findings were reported. The RCMP emphasized that the September search was not a sign of doubt but a reinforcement of thoroughness. Returning to earlier areas is common in complex searches, especially in environments like dense woodland. Changes in vegetation, weather, and access can reveal details that were not visible during the initial stages of the search. For many following the case, the lack of discoveries has been difficult to understand. However, investigators have repeatedly explained that the absence of findings does not mean the case is stalled. Instead, it means that the work must continue with endurance, patience, and a focus on verified leads rather than assumptions. This disciplined approach is echoed by Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon, who stated that the investigation includes multiple active streams. Search operations, interviews, data analysis, and timeline verification all continue in parallel. This multi-layer structure ensures that no angle is overlooked, even if immediate results are not visible to the public. As the months pass, the balance between public updates and behind-the-scenes work becomes increasingly important. RCMP must prioritize investigative integrity, while the public and family rely on transparency and communication for reassurance. The October update served as an important reminder that progress does not always appear as breakthroughs. Community gatherings, like the upcoming vigil for Jack's birthday, serve as important reminders of what is at stake. These events allow people to connect emotionally, reflect, and express support in ways that go beyond online messages. They keep the children's names present in public spaces and reinforce the sense of shared responsibility. In many missing child cases, public attention tends to decrease over time. However, this case has remained highly visible due to the continuous involvement of the family, media coverage, and the ongoing efforts of RCMP. Each new message from the family, especially from Malehya, brings renewed attention and emotional impact. The province's offer of up to $150,000 as a reward for information also reflects the seriousness of the search. It serves as both an incentive and a message that authorities remain committed to finding answers. Large rewards often help generate new leads or prompt individuals to share information they might otherwise dismiss. Although the reward has been in place for some time, public awareness of it increases each time the case re-enters the news cycle. With the People.com article bringing fresh visibility, more individuals across North America may now become aware of the details and consider whether they have relevant information. The article also highlights the emotional contrast between official statements and personal experiences. While RCMP shares carefully verified information, Malehya shares the emotional truth of what it feels like to live through this uncertainty. This contrast adds depth and human perspective to a case that might otherwise be defined only by timelines and facts. Her messages often repeat the same themes: longing, confusion, hope, and the desire for closure. This repetition reflects the emotional cycles that families experience in long-term missing child cases. Each day feels both new and identical, at the same time filled with questions that cannot yet be answered. The community's support for the family has remained consistent. Many people who never met Lilly or Jack feel connected to the case through the mother's words. These emotional connections, formed through shared empathy, help sustain awareness even when official news updates slow down. Local residents have expressed that they continue to look for any unusual detail that could be relevant. Even after 6 months, the community remains attentive. Some revisit earlier thoughts, recheck observations, or discuss the case with neighbors, hoping that something overlooked might resurface. For many communities, the disappearance of 2 young siblings is not just a case, it is a collective emotional event. It inspires self-reflection about safety, communication, and awareness. These shifts in mindset can have lasting impacts on community behavior, encouraging greater attentiveness and solidarity. Meanwhile, RCMP continues to adapt their search strategies. As environmental conditions change with the seasons, new opportunities for visibility arise. Areas that were once covered in thick vegetation may become easier to examine, creating windows for renewed search efforts. The return of search teams to previously examined zones reflects the complexity of the environment. Dense woodlands can conceal important details, and environmental changes often reveal features that were hidden months earlier. This explains why revisiting locations is a vital part of the investigative process. The consistency of RCMP's message that all possibilities remain open may feel vague to some, but it reflects a disciplined approach. Without confirmed evidence supporting one direction, investigators cannot narrow the scope. This ensures that no potential explanation is prematurely dismissed. The People.com article reinforces the importance of this message. By highlighting the official statements, emotional pleas, and recent clarifications, it provides a balanced view of the case. Readers gain an understanding of both the investigative structure and the personal impact. This blend of factual updates and emotional insight helps maintain public engagement. People who follow the case feel connected not only to the storyline, but also to the individuals involved. This connection often fuels motivation to share information and stay informed. Malehya's posts also play a crucial role in maintaining visibility. Her ability to express vulnerability and strength makes her messages especially impactful. She writes in a way that invites others to share in her hope, her grief, and her determination. Her words act as emotional anchors for the case. Some of her messages focus on the bond Lilly and Jack share as siblings. She describes their personalities, their closeness, and the joy they brought into the home. These descriptions remind the public that behind every update are 2 young lives filled with memories, dreams, and love. Even simple details such as Jack's upcoming birthday carry deep emotional significance. Milestones like these can be painful reminders, but they also fuel the family's determination to keep the children's names visible. The vigil held in his honor symbolizes this need to acknowledge and honor their presence, even in their absence. The community recognizes the significance of these moments and often responds with compassion. Many find comfort in gathering together to express hope, share support, and remain united. These gatherings reinforce the idea that the search is not isolated to law enforcement, it is a collective effort. In many ways, the case serves as a reminder of how powerful community involvement can be. While investigators handle the technical aspects, the public contributes awareness, emotional support, and shared vigilance. This dual approach has helped the case remain visible even after 6 months. The People.com article adds to this visibility by reaching audiences far from Nova Scotia. The broader the reach, the greater the chance that a critical detail, no matter how small, could surface. Increased awareness often leads to new tips that may not have been submitted otherwise. The reward offered by the province adds another layer to the effort. While financial incentives cannot erase the emotional pain involved, they can motivate individuals who might hold forgotten or overlooked information. Rewards have played important roles in many long-term missing person cases. RCMP remains clear that all information submitted by the public is taken seriously. Tips are logged, assessed, and processed carefully. Even tips that do not lead to new searches contribute to the investigative picture by confirming or eliminating details. The investigative team continues revisiting earlier notes, statements, and search results. This process reflects experience and professionalism. Cases evolve, and details that seemed minor at the beginning may later take on new meaning. Continuous review ensures that nothing is missed. Coordination with outside agencies also strengthens the case. These agencies bring additional tools, technologies, and perspectives. Their involvement shows the seriousness with which the investigation is handled and the level of dedication aimed at finding answers. Even as the investigation continues, emotional elements remain at the forefront. Missing children cases carry a unique weight because they involve young lives interrupted without explanation. The emotional urgency never fades, regardless of how much time passes. For families in similar situations, the hardest part is often the uncertainty. Each day arrives with the same unanswered questions, and each night ends without resolution. This emotional cycle can be exhausting, yet Malehya continues to show remarkable strength. Her messages reflect a blend of pain and determination, reminding the public that her hope remains constant despite the passing months. Default text. The People.com article plays a significant role in this visibility. By presenting both the mother's emotional messages and the official RCMP updates, the article offers a complete view of the situation. It helps people understand why the case remains active and how much effort continues behind the scenes, even when results are not immediately apparent. The article also emphasizes that RCMP has not confirmed any specific scenario. They have been consistent from the beginning. Every possibility remains under consideration until evidence determines otherwise. This neutral stance ensures that the investigation remains balanced, objective, and free from assumptions that could limit progress. Although some may interpret the lack of confirmed scenarios as stagnation, investigators have clarified that this is normal in complex cases. With no physical evidence pointing toward a particular direction, the investigation must proceed carefully. This cautious approach protects the integrity of the search and avoids premature conclusions. Geography remains one of the most challenging aspects of the case. The terrain around Lansdowne Station is thick, expansive, and unpredictable. Search teams have had to navigate dense forests, uneven slopes, and heavily vegetated areas. These conditions slow the search process but also highlight the dedication of every individual involved. Even as the seasons change, new search opportunities arise. Autumn brings clearer lines of sight as leaves fall, opening pathways previously hidden during the summer months. These seasonal cycles influence search strategies, giving investigators reasons to revisit areas that were difficult to examine earlier in the year. Search teams depend heavily on teamwork and communication. Coordinated sweeps, shared maps, and real-time updates help ensure that no section is missed. This structured approach has been a defining feature of the investigation and reflects the professionalism of everyone involved. Meanwhile, the family continues to face emotional challenges. For Malehya, everyday tasks feel heavier because they unfold without the presence of her children. She writes about missing their smiles, their laughter, and the comfort of simply being near them. These emotions paint the human side of the case, one that cannot be captured by timelines alone. Her writing also expresses a sense of responsibility. She explains that she will never stop searching and will never lose hope. These words serve as a source of inspiration, not just for those who know the family, but for anyone following the case. Her determination offers a steady reminder of why the search continues, Many people following the case comment that her messages feel as though they come from a place of honesty and vulnerability. That emotional truth draws people in and keeps them engaged. Her willingness to share her feelings publicly fosters a sense of unity among supporters who want to see the family reunited. The People.com article highlights this connection, showing how Malehya's posts have kept the case alive in the public consciousness. By quoting her words directly, the article allows readers to understand the emotional depth of her experience, making the story more than just a factual update. The emotional weight becomes especially intense when milestones approach. Jack's upcoming 5th birthday is one such moment. Birthdays are typically filled with joy and celebration, but in this context they represent the passage of time and the longing for answers. The vigil reflects both grief and unwavering hope. Candlelit gatherings like the one planned for Jack's birthday serve multiple purposes. They honor the children, provide comfort to the family, and remind the community to remain vigilant. These events create shared spaces for people to come together and reflect on the meaning of unity during difficult times. Participants often describe these vigils as both emotional and grounding. The simple act of holding a candle becomes symbolic, a gentle expression of hope, remembrance, and determination. When a community stands together in silence, it sends a powerful message that the search is not forgotten. Through the combined efforts of the family, the community, and RCMP, Lilly and Jack's names remain present in conversations across the region. Each shared post, each update, and each vigil reinforces the importance of continuing to seek answers. Visibility and persistence remain key elements of the ongoing effort. RCMP's statement that all possibilities remain open serves as a reminder of the complexity of the case. Without confirmed evidence supporting one path, the investigation must remain wide. This openness prevents tunnel vision and keeps investigators attentive to a broad range of potential explanations. At the same time, the mother's emotional plea underscores the urgency of the situation. Her posts remind the public that behind every delayed answer is a family waiting. She urges anyone with information to come forward, emphasizing that even the smallest detail could help bring clarity to the case. As Part 2 comes to a close, one theme becomes clear. The story of Lilly and Jack is a blend of determination, uncertainty, and continuous effort. The investigation continues with steady discipline, the family continues to hold on to hope, and the community remains committed to supporting the search. 6 months later, the message repeated by everyone involved remains the same. The search is not over. The effort continues, the questions remain, and the hope persists. The province, the investigators, the community, and the family all share the same goal to bring Lilly and Jack home and finally bring clarity to the story that has touched so many. As the investigation enters its 6th month, one of the most significant challenges is time itself. Every passing week adds emotional pressure to the family, while investigators continue balancing persistence and caution. Despite the difficulties, RCMP maintains that the case remains active, with multiple investigative paths still in progress. Their steady approach keeps the search moving forward even when new information is limited. The absence of major breakthroughs often leads people outside the case to wonder what is happening behind the scenes. Yet investigations of this nature frequently shift into quieter phases where the most important work happens. Reviewing data, analyzing timelines, rechecking earlier details, and validating new information all take time and must be handled with precision. In the People.com article, RCMP emphasizes that eliminating inaccurate details is as important as discovering new ones. When investigators clarified that no evidence supported the presence of a vehicle near the home, it demonstrated how necessary it is to separate sound from certainty. This discipline protects the integrity of the case and ensures the investigation stays grounded in facts. This careful approach is also reflected in how RCMP responds to community questions. They address rumors politely but firmly, acknowledging public concern while clarifying what has been verified. Their updates show respect for the community's emotional investment but also maintain the investigative boundaries necessary for accuracy. For many residents of Lansdowne Station, the mystery remains deeply personal. Some were involved in the initial search, walking through wooded areas and open fields with determination. Others offered support in different forms, providing food, checking their properties, or spreading awareness online. These small actions collectively show how connected the community has become. As the months passed, many community members reported that they still think about the case nearly every day. Small towns often share close bonds, and the loss of two young siblings touches every household. Even those who never met the family feel the emotional weight of the situation simply because of its impact on the region. The article notes how witness reports from early May were re-examined in detail. Investigators revisited every statement regarding sounds heard near the home. This reassessment demonstrates professionalism, ensuring no claim, no matter how uncertain, remains unverified. Ultimately, RCMP concluded that these reports could not be confirmed as vehicle activity. This conclusion highlights the importance of evidence in guiding an investigation. Sounds, impressions, or incomplete observations can be influenced by stress or memory. Without supporting data such as tire marks, tracks, or visual confirmation, investigators cannot adopt them as factual contributions to the timeline. Although some supporters hoped the vehicle detail would provide new direction, the clarification ultimately strengthens the investigative foundation. By eliminating inconsistencies, RCMP ensures that the remaining leads are more reliable. This approach may feel slow, but it is essential for preventing the case from drifting toward unsupported conclusions. Parallel to the investigative updates, the emotional journey of the family continues to shape public understanding. The words written by Malehya show a mother navigating daily uncertainty while clinging to hope. Her descriptions of longing create vivid images of what life was like before May 2nd, full of ordinary moments that now feel precious. She shares how deeply she misses Lilly and Jack's presence, their energy, and even the simple comfort of hearing their voices. These memories, once part of a normal routine, now serve as emotional landmarks of a life interrupted. Her ability to express her pain while remaining hopeful is one of the reasons her posts resonate so widely. Her messages also highlight the physical absence of her children in daily routines. She writes about wishing she could dress them for the day, wake them up in the morning, or tuck them in at night. These everyday acts, so familiar to many parents, now serve as reminders of her longing. Malehya's words are not only expressions of grief, they also carry determination. She states clearly that she has not given up hope for a safe reunion. This persistence has become an emotional anchor for supporters who follow her journey. Her belief in the possibility of seeing her children again reinforces public commitment to the case. Meanwhile, the People.com article confirms that Daniel Martel responded to earlier speculation regarding his vehicle being linked to the case. He denied the idea completely, calling it complete nonsense. His statement reflects the pressure that families often endure as public attention grows and narratives emerge without evidence. This denial also aligns with RCMP's update, which states that there is no evidence supporting vehicle activity at the time. When both the family and investigators match in their statements, it provides clarity to the public and helps dispel lingering uncertainties that may distract from verified information. The article emphasizes that RCMP does not consider the unconfirmed vehicle detail to be a key element of the investigation. This moment serves as a reminder that facts guide progress, not speculation. Precision, not assumption, is what moves cases forward. The idea that all possibilities remain open continues to define RCMP's approach. While some observers may interpret the phrase as vague, it reflects a disciplined position. Until evidence confirms a direction, investigators must remain neutral and avoid focusing on any scenario prematurely. Behind the emotional layer of the story, the investigative process requires constant coordination. Multiple units from behavioral sciences to ground search teams contribute their expertise. This multi-team approach reflects the seriousness of the case and the importance placed on thorough examination. Even without breakthroughs, the involvement of specialized teams reassures the community that the investigation has not slowed. The region has seen a long list of coordinated efforts, demonstrating the commitment to uncovering the truth. Each phase of the search, whether large or small, adds structure to the overall effort. Adding to the emotional dimension, Jack's approaching 5th birthday is a moment that deepens public empathy. Families following the case understand the symbolic weight of milestones. Birthdays represent growth, time, and celebration, yet in this context, they highlight absence, longing, and hope. The vigil planned for Jack's birthday is a testament to the community's ongoing support. People gathering with candles, memories, and hope shows that the children remain present in collective thought. Vigils like this serve not only as emotional support for the family but also as reminders that the search continues. Many people attending such gatherings report that these moments create space for reflection. They feel connected through shared compassion, even among individuals who may not have known the family personally. These events carry quiet power, allowing the community to honor the siblings while expressing solidarity. Supporters often speak about how the case has changed their perspective on safety, awareness, and empathy. It reminds them to be attentive, to look out for one another, and to support families in moments of crisis. These shifts in mindset strengthen community bonds long after the search efforts begin. The People.com article also underscores the impact of Malehya's messages. Her emotion, sincerity, and vulnerability have reached readers far beyond Nova Scotia. When a parent expresses such raw honesty, it creates a universal connection, one rooted not in geography but in shared humanity. Her ability to articulate her experience allows others to understand the emotional landscape of the case. This is important in long-term investigations because emotional engagement influences whether the public continues to pay attention. Awareness is essential, especially when new information could emerge from the most unexpected sources. The reward offered by the Nova Scotia government reinforces how committed authorities are to finding answers. The amount up to $150,000 is significant and reflects the urgency of the search. Rewards can be powerful tools, encouraging individuals with even small pieces of information to step forward. Even those with limited knowledge may find motivation to review memories, conversations, or observations from early May. Sometimes seemingly minor details can contribute meaningfully to a timeline, helping investigators confirm or eliminate certain possibilities. The People.com article brings renewed attention to the reward, ensuring that more people become aware of the opportunity to provide helpful information. Widespread coverage increases the chances of reaching someone who may hold a valuable detail, perhaps something forgotten or dismissed until now. One of the strengths of media coverage is its ability to keep a case alive in public awareness. Articles like this serve not only as updates but as reminders that the search is ongoing. When stories fade from headlines, public attention shifts, but renewed coverage keeps the momentum going. The continued involvement of national and international publications demonstrates how compelling this case has become. The disappearance of two siblings from their own home touches people deeply, and each update adds layers of human emotion and investigative complexity. The People.com article also helps clarify misconceptions that may form when updates slow down. It provides verified information directly from RCMP and quotes from the mother. This transparency ensures accuracy and prevents misleading narratives from taking root within the community or online. For long-term cases, accuracy is crucial. Misinformation, even when unintentional, can cause emotional harm to families and distract investigators. The article's responsible reporting contributes positively by presenting facts clearly and respectfully. As months continue to pass, emotions naturally fluctuate. Some days bring hope, others bring frustration, but the family remains committed to seeking answers. This emotional resilience is especially visible in Malehya's posts, which reveal both her vulnerability and her inner strength. In some messages, she describes life feeling unfamiliar without her children. Everyday routines feel changed, and the home no longer carries the same warmth. Her words express a deep longing that resonates with many parents, regardless of where they are from. Yet despite the emotional challenges, she continues to express faith. She writes with conviction that her children will return home. This belief forms a powerful emotional anchor not only for the family but also for supporters who follow the case closely. RCMP's commitment to the investigation remains evident through their regular, though measured, updates. Investigators emphasize that they remain open to all possibilities. This approach is not a sign of uncertainty but a reflection of disciplined investigative methodology. It is clear that the RCMP has not slowed their effort. However, the nature of the work has shifted from large-scale searches to detailed analysis. This stage requires patience, expert coordination, and thorough review of earlier actions, data, and leads. The involvement of specialized units, including behavioral sciences, shows how comprehensive the investigation has become. These units often contribute insights into timelines, environmental factors, and search patterns. Their presence further demonstrates the seriousness of the case. While RCMP works behind the scenes, the community continues to keep the case alive through conversations and online engagement. Parents discuss the case in schools, neighbors talk about it during errands, and supporters share updates on social platforms. This continuous engagement ensures the case never fades into silence. The emotional connection formed through shared concern is one of the most powerful forces supporting the investigation. When people care deeply, they remain alert, engaged, and ready to help. This level of support strengthens the search and keeps focus on the central goal, bringing Lilly and Jack home. Even after 6 months, many supporters say they think about the children daily. Their faces, shared widely across Canada, have become symbols of innocence and hope. Supporters continue checking news updates, following the family's posts, and attending community events with the same dedication shown early in the search. This enduring support reflects how deeply the story has touched people. It is not only the disappearance that resonates, but also the powerful emotional testimony from the mother. Each message she shares invites others to understand the weight she carries and the hope she refuses to let go of. Her words provide emotional context, reminding the public that this is not just a case, it is the ongoing experience of a mother who longs for the return of her children. Her vulnerability draws people closer, encouraging them to keep caring, sharing, and supporting. In turn, this emotional connection motivates individuals to continue spreading awareness. Even months later, people continue posting, discussing, and sharing information about the case. This consistent visibility may someday connect the right piece of information to the right person. The article highlights how important it is for the public to remain engaged. Missing child cases often move forward based on small observations or details submitted by community members. RCMP encourages anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward. Investigators stress that details once considered insignificant can later become vital. This is why early witness reports were revisited. Memory, context, and perspective evolve over time, and reviewing earlier information can sometimes reveal patterns or gaps. People reading the article may find themselves revisiting their own recollections. Did they see something unusual in early May? Did they hear something that seemed ordinary at the time but now feels relevant? The article encourages reflection without introducing speculation. The emotional appeal from the mother amplifies this process. Her plea, "Someone, somewhere, knows something," resonates because it acknowledges the truth behind many missing person cases. Information often exists but remains unshared because it seems unimportant. Her repeated messages urging people to come forward show her desire not only for answers, but also for empathy and unity. She wants the community to understand that even the smallest action may contribute to the effort to bring her children home. This theme of unity appears throughout the article, reflected in the community gatherings, the search operations, the online support, and the official updates. It highlights the reality that missing child investigations involve everyone: families, authorities, communities, and anyone who becomes aware of the story. At the core of the narrative is a mother's voice. Her emotional expressions bring humanity to the case, making it more than just an investigation. Her posts have become a key part of the public's understanding, guiding emotional reactions as much as RCMP's updates guide factual understanding. Her hope remains steady, and that hope shapes how others perceive the case. When she writes about believing her children will come home, supporters echo that belief. Her determination inspires continued engagement and shows how powerful a single voice can be during long-term searches. The People.com article concludes by emphasizing the RCMP's determination. They reaffirm that the investigation remains open and active. They will continue until they establish, with certainty, what happened on May 2nd. This promise reflects the commitment of every officer involved. For the family, this assurance brings some comfort. Knowing that the search continues allows them to move forward with hope. Although they face difficult emotions each day, they remain encouraged by the commitment of investigators and the support of the community. Part of the challenge now is balancing hope with patience. Long-term investigations often unfold slowly, and progress is not always visible. Yet the family remains strong, guided by love and determination. Their emotional resilience influences everyone following the case. The article reinforces the message that public awareness remains vital. Every update keeps the case active in people's minds. When the public stays informed, the chances of connecting meaningful information increase. Visibility is one of the most powerful tools still available. As Part 3 draws to a close, the central themes become clear: determination, community strength, and unwavering hope. 6 months may have passed, but the emotional and investigative commitment has not weakened. The story continues, carried by the voices of many. Lilly and Jack remain at the heart of every conversation, update, and gathering. Their story continues to unite people through compassion and shared purpose. Even without new evidence, the collective dedication strengthens the search and keeps the hope alive. RCMP's ongoing efforts, the emotional messages from the family, and the community's unwavering support show that the case remains active, not forgotten. The People.com article captures this balance of emotion and investigation with clarity and respect. Part 3 concludes with the same message that echoes through every statement, every vigil, and every post. The search for Lilly and Jack continues. The community, the investigators, and the family remain united in purpose, and hope remains at the center of it all. 6 months have now passed, yet the story of Lilly and Jack remains as present as the first day they disappeared. The search continues, the investigation continues, and the hope carried by their mother, their family, and their community continues. Every update, every vigil, and every message shared over these months has shown that these two children have not been forgotten. Their names still echo across Nova Scotia and beyond, reminding us all that unanswered questions still remain. As we close this update, the emotion shared by their mother stands at the center of everything. Her words, filled with longing, strength, and belief, remind us that this is not only a story of an investigation, but the story of a mother waiting for her children. The RCMP has stated clearly that all possibilities remain open, and they will follow the evidence wherever it leads. The search is active, and every piece of information still matters. If you've been following this case, your awareness plays a real role. One share, one comment, or one conversation could reach the right person at the right moment. Long-term searches depend on community involvement, and this community stretches far beyond Nova Scotia now. If you know anything, even something that feels small, contact the authorities. And if you don't, simply helping keep this story alive makes a difference. Thank you for watching True Child Cases. This channel is dedicated to bringing attention to real cases involving children, to keep their stories visible, and to support awareness in every possible way. If you want to continue following updates on Lilly and Jack or other cases that need the public's help, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video. Your engagement keeps these cases alive, and together, we continue to hope for the day Lilly and Jack are found safe and brought home.